Welcome to Baloney Brain, my friends. This is John House, or Used Toy, here with another edition of the weird, wicked, wild, crazy, It's Weird Wednesday. Welcome, my co-host, Daryl House, or Suburban Hobo. How you doing, Daryl?
Good, you are big on alliteration today.
I am.
Wow. How's it going?
It's going well. And you?
I like that shirt. I like that shirt very much. You wore that a couple of weeks ago.
It's my favorite because it's got Frank, baby, on it. The chairman of the board.
When I was 17, it was a very good year.
It's also got Dino.
Oh, you got them all.
And Sammy.
Sam I am.
The other two aren't really that important, but I love Sammy. My son is named after Sammy.
I knew that. Actually, I thought it was Sammy Hagar.
That's what my wife's story is. It's not right.
Well, listen, I got some good stories today. Let's jump right in here. This one I thought was, America's national pastime. What a great lead-off hitter we got here. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks, win me a free cremation. I like this one. This is from the Marin Independent Journal out there in California, where all the fruits and nuts are. Over the weekend, a 54-year-old man won free cremation services at the old ball game. The take-home prize was the jackpot at funeral night at the San Rafael Pacifics game. That's the independent pro team. I think they're the farm team of the Phillies. But one lucky fan at funeral night would take home a free cremation or a free casket, both of which will be held by the mortuary and cemetery for safekeeping until the proper final time in return for writing the best obituary. That's how you win. You write the best obituary. So Matt Crowderville and his sister Courtney Flavin penned the winning death notes. I think you're going to like this. There once was a fellow named Matt. Now, I know. There once, it's not that kind of.
Okay.
It's not that liver. There once was, and it's extended. There once was a fellow named Matt, a fan from his toes to his hat. To be very specific, his team was Pacifics. He thought anyone else was a rat. He was hit on the head by a foul. He was fanned by a fan with a towel. But he died the next day and was buried away with a smile on his face, not a scowl. The day of the playoffs it came. Matt's absence was really a shame. But he rose from the dead with a flourish. He said, "I just couldn't miss the big game."
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. So he won this thing. It's valued at actually about $3,000, and he also had his picture taken with the Grim Reaper. But the funeral director will hold on to it until, he's only 54, so he's probably got, California's probably got, a year?
Well, I'm surprised he won because, I heard it was so busy at the game that night because people were dying to get in.
Too funny.
I used to work at a funeral home, so I got a million of those.
Really? That's why people are, they put up the fence around the cemetery, right?
Absolutely.
People dying to get in. All right, what do you got?
Well, I've got one from a few weeks back. I've got an update. Do you remember the guy that crawled into the septic tank to spy on the mother and daughter?
Yes,
and was covered with feces? Well, he's went to court. He got a year for what he did, plus he has to pay a $5,000 fine. And I'm wondering, since he was hiding in the septic tank, when they put him in prison, do you think he's going to go to the hole? Thank you very much.
Rim shot.
I'm doing material today.
Oh my God, this is like stand-up Weird Wednesday. Well, how about this? Love is grand. Lost love is about $105,000. In Chicago, a woman whose car collected more than 670 parking tickets Uh, she isn't being held to the $105,000 in fines. A judge kind of got involved here. Jennifer Fitzgerald of the city on Thursday announced a settlement that requires Fitzgerald to pay a reduced bill of $4,470. Now, the bill, the largest parking ticket tab in city history. Now, this is Chicago, so you know they know how to get it right in Chicago. Yeah. It was amassed over 3 years when a 1999 Chevy Monte Carlo registered in her name sat in a parking garage at O'Hare International Airport. Now, there's more to the story. Fitzgerald claimed the tickets weren't hers. She alleged that her ex-boyfriend registered the car in her name without her permission before abandoning the car in an employee parking lot at the airport. She later sued, arguing that she didn't have access to the car. A judge finally just dismissed the case and says, work it out. So, her attorney said the car should have been removed far earlier than it was, thereby reducing the number of tickets it would have collected. With the settlement, Fitzgerald's ex-boyfriend will also pay a portion of the $4,400, and she will continue paying it off at about $80 a month. Now, the bad news out of this whole thing is she has not been able to get a driver's license because, cities do that. When you owe them, they put a black mark on your license. So once it's all paid, she will be able to get her driver's license back. So again, love is grand, lost love, 105 grand.
Wow. Well, police in Britain, Marine police no less, got a thing about a boat filled with armed criminals. But it wasn't so bad because the boat was actually, it was Tom Cruise, Angelina Jolie, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Daniel Craig. It was celebrity impersonators who were doing something to try and promote the Thames Jet speedboat ride.
That's the Thames.
Oh, the Thames Jet speedboat ride.
No S on the S, the Thames.
Oh, well, okay.
It's the British
Jet speedboat ride.
We're going boating on the Thames this afternoon.
Well, that apparently they have like a military-style police boat which takes people for rides, and so they were doing a little promotion for that.
You want to go for a ride?
Well, the celebrity impersonators, they didn't look very real.
Oh, so, I saw the story, but I didn't see the pictures. They didn't look good. Hard for Angelina Jolie not to look good. I think she's still pretty hot. She
was the best out of all.
Wow.
But the Arnold Schwarzenegger, no.
Hey, have you seen Arnold lately? Not good no matter what. You should get an impersonator and take about 40 years off and put some of that bulk back on. I mean, that's the old thing they used to say. You do all these steroids. When you stop doing them, your body just kind of implodes. That's where Arnold is. The last pictures I saw, he looked horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, well. And now it's Stallone that's having the feud with, what's his name from Die Hard, was married to...
Bruce Willis.
Yeah. Jeez, I'd like to see the two of them in a ring together. That would be kind of fun to watch. All right, let's move on. This is one of those just desserts kind of stories. I don't know if you saw, what was the movie I was saying about, Tower Heist with Ben Affleck? Isn't he Batman?
I believe you're right.
He's going to be the new Batman. Or The Sting. I love it when the bad guy gets beaten up or taken by the good guys in the end, So this is one of those stories. A young lady in Vancouver, British Columbia, she found that her bike had been stolen, and a friend saw it on Craigslist. And she says, "Here's your bike." Well, they investigated it a little further. The bike was just a couple of blocks away. So she calls the police. Well, the police says, "Well, we'll look into it." She says, "But, we're very busy right now. We may not be able to get back to you today." So she goes on, and she finds out some more about this guy, and she's thinking, well, he's probably selling my bicycle right now, and he's 2 blocks away. So she calls the police back. She says, "Well, we're definitely going to look into it, but it may be tomorrow before we can get back to you." So finally she says, enough is enough. She says she jumps into action herself, she says she jumped into action. She goes over and she asks the guy if she could take the bike for a ride around the parking lot. Well, he was weary, and I guess that's wary. This is weird. This journalist, they're as bad as I am. He was wary. I'm correct there. I apologize for correcting you on Thames a while ago. I shouldn't do that. That's just rude. I'm such a freaking know-it-all. But he was wary, not weary, whoever wrote this story. And he said, yes, but don't take off. She told him, don't worry, I wouldn't even think of that. And she said her heart was racing and pounding. She had no idea what to do. So she just got on the bike and just rode off like hell. Well,
good for her.
She gets on the bike and she calls her friend who had called her to tell her where the bike was, who was in a parking lot that was adjacent to the parking lot where he showed up with the bicycle. So they jumped into the car with the bicycle and they took off. She calls the police back later on. She says, I won't be needing your help after all. But then she goes home because his phone number was on Craigslist. She goes home and she says, I want to apologize for not sticking around to pay you for the bike you effing stole from me.
That is awesome.
Just I went up and I checked the serial number. It was her bike. She knew it was her bike because there were stickers on it that she knew. But she did finally check the serial numbers. It was her bike. So she noticed that he was also had a bunch of other bikes he was selling and iPhones. So she called Crime Stoppers, gave them all the information, and had let the police know that this is going back. The police said we don't necessarily condone bike re-thievery, but we had to admit that everyone in this story got basically what they deserved. The intrepid woman got her bike back, the thief got turned in, and it's all very inspiring and heartwarming.
Oh,
I like this story.
I like that story. I only wish the police could have been more involved.
Well, it's not their style.
Well, every year when deer season rolls around, it always seems like the deer get a couple points for themselves, and this kind of reminds me of that. James Pace shoots himself in the shin doing battle with a raccoon.
That's better.
An 81-year-old man. He's basically in his house. There's a raccoon at the door. He reminds me of the, hey, kids, get out of my yard. So he decides he's going to shoot the raccoon. He gets his .22 caliber rifle, goes to the door, and while he was waiting to get a shot off, he sneezed falling out of his chair and shot himself in the shin. His son drove him to the hospital where he was treated for non-life-threatening injuries.
Just goes to show you that guns don't shoot people in the shins. Sneezy old men shoot themselves in the shins. That's great. I love it.
Put one for the raccoons.
Yeah, well, you know what? They're probably way down in the numbers, so they need to have a firm showing in the fourth quarter. All for it. And if the guy had shot Bambi, I would have gone over to his house and shot him in the other shin, Gotta save Bambi on this. Well, listen, folks, it's another week at Weird Wednesday on BaloneyBrain.com. We're glad y'all came out to join with us for a little bit. John, you look marvelous. You really do. Thanks for being my partner.
You too. We will see you next week.
Bye-bye.